Do French people hate American people? And answering other questions about France with my sister. Hi. Okay, so today I thought I would make a fun little video for summer where I would answer some questions regarding France and some cliches on French people. Some of these questions are questions that were sent to me on Instagram or that you guys wrote in the comments. And other questions I just found on Google and I thought they were funny, so I added those at the end. And I thought it would be cool to have my sister to help me answer so we could have two different perspectives. For background, if you don't know, we lived in the United States for 5 years, but she was much younger than me.
I was really young, so that's why my English isn't perfect at all.
Her English is very
I'm sorry.
How old are you when we left the US?
I was like 5 years old and a half, maybe 5.5.
So yeah, we both have different perspectives. So let's get started with the questions. So the first part is going to be about food and nutrition. And then there's going to be just another part with just random questions that are more with like culture and lifestyle and things like that. Some are very, very specific and others are very, very vast. So we're going to try our best to give you some interesting information, but it's going to be a little bit all over the place. So let's get started with the food and nutrition questions. The first question is, what's the typical lunch break in Paris on a work day or on a school day? How long does it take, and does it mean that you have a longer work day or school day? So I can answer for work and you can answer for school.
Yeah.
Go ahead if you want.
For school day, we have like a cafeteria a little bit, and we have 1 hour break most of the time, and or two, yeah, in high school too. And I would say a typical meal would be like mashed potatoes. Well, some meat, but I'm also vegetarian, so I didn't eat some meat. But I would eat like, yeah, vegetables, mashed potatoes, a salad, and for a start, and as a dessert, maybe like a fruit. My school cafeteria really wasn't good at all, so that would be all. But yeah, that's the typical meal, I would say.
It's like 3 courses. You have like the starter.
Yeah, you have some cheese too, but I'm not really a big fan of cheese too, so.
And so for work, it's kind of the same thing. Usually the breaks I would say are 1 to 2 hours. And either like where I worked, I would bring my lunch most of the time, or we would go buy. We didn't have like a cafeteria, but sometimes there's a cafeteria and it's the same kind of meal, like a 3-course meal. And then I would say, so it says, does it mean that you have longer days? I think so, because I remember in the United States.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think
we finished school really late in France. Yeah. At high school, I would finish like at 5 or 6.
Yeah, that's normal.
It's like from 8 to 5, 6. And in seconde, so it's the first year of high school, I would have like 3 hours to eat.
Yeah, like, that's ridiculous.
Like a huge break. Eating and having the time to eat is very, very important here.
Yeah, that's super important. But to answer the question, yeah, the work days are longer. If you worked like the 35 heures, which is like the kind of standard, but not really many people actually do that. But you know, if we say like 35 hours, then when they count the 7 hours, of course your lunch doesn't count in the 7 hours. So you have like, if you have a 2-hour lunch break, then you're gonna work 2 more hours. How do French women eat? Well, I would suggest that you go watch the video I made I have a few on like typical French meals. I also have one on why French women don't get fat. I'm gonna put them right here. I would love to hear more about how French women eat on holidays, parties, and social gatherings.
Yeah, that's cool.
We eat a little bit more for these things. We eat a little bit more. For holidays and gatherings. I wouldn't say that we're like, oh, it's a family gathering, let me just stuff my face. It's just that naturally there's going to be like lots of food options.
Everyone is going to bring something.
Yeah, so. and also it's going to take super long. Like our family meals, they take like 3 hours.
3 to 4 hours.
Yeah, it's super long. So obviously you're sitting there with so much food and it takes so long. You just eat, but it's not like you're like stuffing yourself with food, I feel like.
Well, sometimes I'm not hungry anymore, but I still eat, you know.
Yeah, we do that as well.
Yeah, we do that
because sometimes people say, oh, French people, they're so good at being intuitive and not eating too much, but of course
not every time.
At Christmas we're gonna overeat.
And big family meals and
everything. I would say that's the way we
but like
eat.
on the holidays and on Christmas, I don't know if it's not the same in the United States, the typical meals, because we eat a lot of seafood, like lobsters. How do you say
mussels? Oh, oysters.
Oysters.
Mussels.
everything. Oh, we don't eat that.
Foie gras.
But that's really the typical meal.
Yeah, it's not like we don't have like
Christmas.
turkey.
It's like the fancy meal.
I would say that maybe the difference that we do is that we don't obsess over it. We're not going to be like, oh no, we ate too much. We have to go on a detox before or a detox after. We just don't care. We just eat it and then we're like, oh, that was, you know, fun. Je me suis pété le bide.
There are like many people who really have the feeling that they have to like balance, and the day after they have to eat less. Or
well, I think it's a difference. Like I agree with balance. For me, the day after I would eat less, but just because I naturally want less.
Yeah, it's not like I'm not forcing myself.
So yeah, hopefully that answers that too. So this is a really short question. What are your thoughts on sparkling versus still water? Is sparkling water considered a treat in France? What would you say?
I wouldn't say that it's considered as a treat. For me, it's totally normal to drink sparkling water when you eat. I personally do not really like sparkling water because I feel like I bloat a lot.
Yeah.
But our parents do like it.
Dad.
And I know like many families that really like sparkling water. So no, it's really normal. It's normal. It's not a treat for me.
Yes, I totally agree. Do French people eat snails and frogs?
Well, we don't, obviously.
We don't. If you're interested, I made a video on typical French, like traditional French meals where I talked about that a little more. Yes, check it out right here. But the short answer is not that much. Like, really, no.
Even like people who aren't vegetarian don't eat that very often.
No.
I would say like once a year maybe. And gastronomique. Could you say gastronomique?
Gastronomique, yeah.
Well, like a fancy high quality, fancy restaurant.
Like a.
But really, it's really not common at all. Like you'd never go to people and they're like, "Oh, we made you snails and frogs."
That'd be super
never
weird.
happened.
I mean, maybe super rich people. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that was all the food questions. So now we're gonna go into the other questions. I would love to learn about the differences between. Well, thank you, and I have to start over. I would love to learn about the differences about American and French culture. Wow, that's super vague.
That's really vague. There's so many things to say.
There's so many. Okay, so if you want, you can go ahead with whatever. Just whatever comes to your mind.
Well, I would say that the thing that I've noticed really was the difference in the school system. So I did my preschool in the United States and I was in a Montessori school. Like the goal is really to draw a path that is really individual, and so you're really you're really the author of your path and your school experience. You really choose the subjects that you wanna do, you wanna learn, the things you wanna learn, etc. So it's really individual, and everybody has a different path. And so I really like that because in France I have the feeling that the system is a little bit more closed. That's not the word adéquat, but but it's like you don't really, you're not really free.
It's not individual. Like it's really not tailored to specific needs.
I felt good in the French system because I was that profile that just fits in the the boxes that they put for you. In French, it's really in boxes. You have to fit you really have to fit in the boxes. But I know many people who weren't in that box, and so I think that's really something in it that is really good, and everybody can do things that he wants to do, and maybe even in the States, you can study like art, theater, like painting, music, even in your last years of school. Rather than in France, you can't do that. You only have like 1 hour of music per week. When you're really young, and when you're in high school, you only have really academic courses such as like math, French.
And this is kind of, it goes off of what you were saying. It's also this for the school experience. I would say they're really like in France, they motivate you by making you fear like failure, and so whenever you do something good, it's like normal. But when you do something wrong, it's like terrible. Whereas in the U.S., at least for us, we were young, but it was like when you did something good, you were like amazing. You were like so great, like you would get like stickers and stars. We get all these awards for like ridiculous things, to be honest. Like one time I put out the trash and I got an award for like being a good citizen. Like it was kind of stupid. It was like excessive, but in France it's excessive on the other way around.
The notion of failure, you're right. It's really totally different, and I love this idea that failure is so good. And in my studies I failed a lot. and I'm so happy that I failed. And
Didn't feel that much.
yeah, but like sometimes when you have bad grades, well, it's hard. And in the States, like when you had a bad grade, well, I didn't really live this period of grades, but like it's like you just it's okay. I just put it away and like fight for the other test that I have.
And that carries on throughout life. Like I don't know, in the work setting and things like that. Whenever you do something good, like you know, in my work, sometimes I was like doing something great, and they were like, oh ouais, c'est pas mal, c'est pas mal. And then when you do something bad, it's like the end of the world. Whereas in the United States, it's more like, oh, you're amazing, you're awesome.
It's a little bit excessive, but I prefer.
I would rather. Yeah, me too. Yeah. So that's like one thing. I mean, there's so many differences.
So many differences.
That was just kind of one that we like had in common. So then they asked differences between French and American lifestyles. Again, that's very vague.
I can say something.
Go ahead.
I would say, I think you did a video on that too, like why French women don't get fat.
Yeah.
I would say that the lifestyle that I felt different, and I still feel different, based on women experience, is the fact that in France, every woman and man are more preoccupied about their looks and the way they're gonna dress, the way they're gonna make up themselves, and everything around that, their hair, etc. And that's really different, and it's really interesting. And there's not some like one that's better than the other. But and when I went to the United States on holidays with Lucy and my parents, I noticed that we were like, I don't wanna
brag, but
I know, but like we really cared about like how we looked, and people were just like in Walmart with like flip flops and just looking like casual, and that's so cool. Yeah, because I agree. No one is judgmental, and they're like, so okay, that's okay. You can like go there in pajamas, and nobody's gonna care. And there are really positive things about this non like care interest about your looks that I really like, but I feel more myself in France because I feel like for me it's really important. So.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And again, I made a video on like how French people view wellness and things like that. You can check out here again. But also, I feel like in France we're more judgmental. When you see like people dressed, you know, either super casual or like different, you know, it's not like typical way of dressing.
I felt that in high school.
Yeah, you're right. It's everywhere. You get judged a lot. Whereas I feel in the United States, at least where we were, places we visited, we feel like nobody really cares. You can dress up, like you can be fully dressed like you were going like a runway, and then you can be like in pajamas, and nobody really cares. Whereas in France, you're gonna be judged for whatever you wear, like all the time. Look at you, they scrutinize you, and that's kind of annoying, I feel like. Yeah. What do French people like and dislike about Paris?
Well, I feel like you said the thing that I dislike the most is like the judgmental thing.
That's also in other French places.
I just wanted to add that I think that when you're in the streets and everything, nobody's gonna judge you in Paris because there's so many people. And
you're right. There's a difference.
But I did my high school in Paris, and I really felt this kind of social like pressure. You tend to compare yourself to others, even the way she's dressed or the way anything. And you're like, okay, I'm not dressed as well as she is. So I would say that that's the thing that I dislike the most. And people are a bit like, you know, bragging about their.
I think there was a question about that. Oh, rude and snobby. They say. We're answering that later,
that's not a t-shirt.
And then for me, I'm gonna answer the more like materialistic side of things about Paris. Personally, what I don't like and what lots of French people don't like. First of all, there's like lots of pollution, lots of noise. It's like really busy, and you know, there's not many places to just relax and be chill. And it's always like go go go. You know, they say métro boulot dodo in France.
That's true.
And that's like, I know that lots of people who leave Paris because they can't stand this just grind all the time. It's like you just never sleep. Like there's always people, which is something we love personally. It's always living. There's always people all the time. It was actually really sad to see it during like COVID last year. There was just like nobody. It was terrible. It looked like a horror movie. So
but living in Paris at our age is like super.
Yeah.
But like when you're really young or like you're an adult with a family.
Yeah,
I feel like it's not the best place to live.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't think so. There's lots of noise, and like the transportation is kind of annoying. Like you're crammed. Like when you wake up, you go into the subway, you're like crammed.
Oh yeah.
It stinks.
It stinks.
There's always problems. Like when we went to Tokyo, we saw like the lines, no problems. Everything was always super smooth. In France, there's like always delays. Like you have to factor in the delays when you're, when you want to go somewhere. You always have to.
There's a problem.
As
someone
if,
on the railroad.
Yeah. There's people are always like, going on the
fuck.
crap.
What the fuck do you do?
Yeah, like really. No, it's so annoying. For me, it's mainly, and also it's super expensive.
Oh yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not maybe as much as London or like New York.
It's less than it's like Rome. I feel. Maybe.
Oh yeah. But for us, like for France, it's super expensive.
Well, it's like insane.
Yeah, maybe I should have said this before. Like little disclaimer that this is only our opinion, what we think. We don't represent all French people.
No.
Of course, some people will think different than us. Okay, which language is easier to learn, French or English? This is so easy to answer. Go ahead.
I feel like French is way harder.
Yeah, I agree.
Than English. Like even I still do mistakes in French.
Yeah,
because
me too.
Because it's super hard. Like
so hard.
We still have doubts about like
spelling.
It's really hard. And English is. Well, I think it's
easy. It's like the easiest language, to be honest.
Yeah,
I would say.
Well,
to learn.
We only speak Spanish, French, English. We learned Spanish.
Yeah, Spanish
isn't that hard.
No, but only because we know French. I think because it's a Latin language.
But like the thing that is really easy in English is the tenses.
Yeah.
Because you only have like present and if you put at the future you just put will.
Like I don't even know the
in the past you just add ed
and except the irregular verbs.
But you learn like the irregular verbs and that's all. And whether
France there's like 50 billion
you have like 5 tenses in the past, 3 in the future, 3 in the present.
It's so hard.
Like what the fuck.
Congratulations all you people learning French. Yeah, amazing. What are French people like? Oh, that was the question I was talking about. Are certain stereotypes true? Really rude and snobby. Don't shower, don't shave. Very romantic, complain a lot, very negative. Okay, let's go one at a time.
Okay.
Really rude and snobby. What would you say?
I would say that in Paris, it's a little bit true.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that in the south of France, but in Paris, a little bit, yeah. Like really they are a little bit rude and snobby, but also we can be rude and snobby because there are a lot of people who are like in the street just harassing us. So sometimes you have to put and you're just afraid that everybody is going to harm you. So I would say that that's a little bit why maybe, but it's also the French mentality. Yeah, I agree. Of course. And I feel like it's kind of different. Like in French people will be harder to kind of get to know at first. We can be a little bit rude and a little bit like, I was gonna say froid, cold and like arrogant maybe. But then once you get to know us, I feel like we're really, we can be really loyal friends. Exactly. Whereas Americans, again, not all Americans, but from our experience, they tend to be a little bit more, superficial and like hypocritical a little bit. Like at first they're like, oh love, it's so lovely to meet you, and like they're always smiling, asking you how your day is going, being like super nice, not rude at all. Not rude at all. But then when you actually like wanna do something, or just ask them for a favor, or when you actually need them or things like that, it's just like bye. They act as your best friend right away, but it's harder to have actual best friends. In France it takes like a long time to get to know someone. Totally. Again, not all American people. I have like awesome American friends, of course, but I would say that. I agree. Yeah, so it's kind of true. Yeah, rude and snobby. Okay, so don't shower and don't shave. That's really not true at all. I think it's because of places that smell like the subway and like toilets. That's really weird. But we shower every day. Yeah, and shave too. Well, shave. It's like same. Everybody does what they want. But like we personally shave because we decided that we feel better if we shave. But like, of course, there are women and women. I say women because usually they're the ones shaving. Women who decide to not shave. And I feel like that's in the same in every country. So
maybe there's more women with hair under their arms or on their legs because, you know, of course, it's 2021. You can do what you want. You don't.
We're really in a progressive mindset.
But I know that's like a common cliche. Very romantic.
Well, I'm not.
I didn't even know that was a cliche. Very romantic.
Yeah, Paris.
Oh yeah, Paris. Yeah, city of love. Not specifically.
Yeah, no.
I wouldn't say.
I wouldn't say that.
Complain a lot and very negative.
Okay, that's totally true.
That's true.
That's totally true.
That's really true. Yeah.
Negative a lot. We always complain every time.
No, totally.
Yeah, no,
that's 100%
really true. That's
and that's kind of what we were saying when we were talking about school. It's kind of like we're always negative. I mean, not always negative, but it's like we're always going to see something good as like, oh, that's normal, and something bad is like, okay, that's really bad. Whereas in other countries like the United States, it's kind of the opposite. They're going to turn anything negative into a positive, and we're going to turn anything positive into negative. And also we complain a lot.
Oh no, that's we complain
all the time. Do French people have middle names?
Genre les deuxièmes prénoms de...
Yeah, ouais.
Oh yeah, do they?
Yeah, we do. I mean,
no, like American people don't have.
Yeah, no, they do. But I think actually, from my experience, American people have middle names, so they actually use them.
Oh really?
Yeah, like I have friends who tell me like their name and their middle name when they introduce. You didn't have that experience?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Maybe
no, really.
I really
I feel like the middle name is more important. Americans, they really use their middle names. In French, we don't use them, but we have two. We have two.
Yeah, we have 3 names.
We have 3 names. So do you want to say yours?
Mine are Lila, Bertie, Margot.
And mine are Lucie, Nathalie, Janine. And for me, it's like Nathalie is my mom's name and Janine is my grandma's name.
I don't know why.
Yours, nobody's name.
But most of the time, it's your grandma.
Yeah. Because we don't care about them. Like they're only on our like identity cards, like our papers, but that's it. You never use them. Whereas Americans, they tend to use them, or sometimes they use like the letter, like you would, you know, like George W. Bush. That's not the best example.
That's a good example.
Yeah, they put the middle letter. Do French people hate Americans?
That's funny.
That's funny. That's actually the most Googled question I saw.
Really?
Yeah. Do French people hate Americans?
No, I don't have that feeling at all. I have the feeling that some French people do not like the United States because of Donald Trump. Let's be frank.
God, he's
Donald Trump because of the gun culture that's really not well seen in France. Because of maybe the consumption economy,
Well, I mean, I agree with what you're saying, totally, but I have heard people that have stereotypes. It's the same as, you know, the stereotypes that American people have for French people, that think that American people are kind of, you know, that they're uncultured, like they don't know.
They're really dumb. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
That's not true.
Yeah, it's not true. This is the cliche. That they don't know, like they don't know
other countries.
Yeah, they don't know other countries. They're really self-centered. They think that America is like the center of the world. You know, that English is
you're right.
The only language.
That's a big cliche.
Yeah, that's like the way lots of people see them, but I would say it's mainly people who've never like gone to the United States or who don't know American people. It's like really a cliche. I would say that once you've been there and then you know American people, that's not really true. So that was a pretty, like, again, that's a big question. Lots of these questions, I could make like entire videos on each of these questions. So let me know if you like this type of video that's a little bit different, but it's still on French culture, and I know that lots of you want to know more about it. So if you want to see more of these types of videos, if you want to see more of my sister, let me know.
Thumbs up on the video.
Let me know in the comments. Thumbs up, let me know in the comments. And if you have any other questions, let me know in the comments.
And follow me on Instagram if you want to, of course.
That's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like it and subscribe. Don't forget to like it and subscribe. And see you on my next one. Bye.